Why do people hate China? Well, recently, things have gotten pretty interesting. People have developed preconceived notions through the media, and they don't really care anymore about if, some report comes out. I'm talking about the WHO report that said that the COVID-19 wasn't manufactured in a factory in Wuhan. I could have guessed that no one would believe that. They don't believe the WHO, and they don't believe, China. So why would they believe, that challenge their worldview that they've already preconceived that the virus, pandemic was started intentionally or released accidentally by some lab in Wuhan. I've read the evidence. It's an interesting conspiracy, for sure. But I see that has been weaponized to really drive hate towards China. And it seems like everything is driving hate towards China these days. I feel it. It's an anger. You see it in the comment section in my videos. You see it in public. You see it in the news. You see it when BBC makes a program where the Chinese version is clear and vivid and colorful, and the version made for Western audiences has got this yellow, dirty tinge to it. To be honest, the pollution in China has gone down, way down in the last few years, and I feel like China has moved forward over the decade I've lived here, but people are still looking at it through the lens that was a decade ago, or even 2 decades ago. Why is the media painting China in such a bad light? Why is there such a offensive against China? Well, it's interesting. If you see yourself or your kids doing something wrong, let's say your kids across the street are really good at something, let's say a sport or something, and your kids aren't. You look at that kid across the street and you say, Billy, your kid's Billy at this example, you say, Billy, look at Johnny over there. Johnny's really good at tennis. If you look at Johnny playing tennis, look at how he plays tennis. Look at the diligence he invests in him playing tennis. Look at how long he practices. Look at how hard he works. You see? That's how we should be. And Johnny, you know what? I'm going to take you every day. Or Johnny? Which one's Johnny? Is that Johnny or is this Billy? Shit, I forgot my names. Anyways, son, I'm going to work hard with you so that you can compete with your friend across the street. We are going to make this work. We're going to make a little competition here. We're going to compete with your neighbor, and we're going to work hard. And in months, a mutual respect would be formed between your neighbor and you, and kind of a rivalry. I think that's not really popular in America these days, or in the West even these days. I think that in the current story, instead of the dad saying to the kid, you know what, I think we need to work out harder and try and compete with our neighbor kid, and instead he's looking over to poison the water, or he's looking over to create problems with the neighbor, either remove opportunities or unfairly pressure, or go over and break the kid's legs, and says, you know what, you don't got to do as good as that guy, because I'm going to take that guy down a couple of notches, and then it'll be more fair. And I think that's crazy. I think it's very understandable why people hate China right now, because all they're getting is the bad. They're getting none of the good. The narrative they're getting is that China is beating us because they're bad. The only reason China is beating us is because they're bad. Instead of China's beating us because people are really focused on a cohesive society. Everybody here is working together. Look at how they tackled COVID. Look at how they do education. Look at how these kids study. Look at all of these things that are happening in this country in the good. We need to take all of the good from China and reinforce our society with it. But America doesn't want to do that. They don't want to take from there to bring it here. They want to take what's here, keep it at basically the level it is, and cut themselves off, like removing globalism. That's one of the weird things. I'm like, globalism has become such a bad word when I don't know if people understand the definition. Globalism is working together as a global community to lift us all up, you know? China makes decisions in a lot of cases for its people. I mean, I've lived here, man. I've seen roads built where there were no roads. I've seen infrastructure where there was no infrastructure. I've seen homes built for people that have very little income. I've seen people with very little income rise up. I've seen middle-class people become rich. I've seen rich people help their communities. And none of that seems to be getting shared. It's all of this, especially during COVID, everybody was working together, and not because they were forced. It was in so many cases because they just knew what they had to do was the right thing to do, and there was no conflicting message. There was no masks on, masks off. Don't trust the scientists, but trust the scientists. Don't trust the scientists. Wear one mask, wear two masks. What do we want to wear? 5 masks? There's so much chaos and people trying to control your emotions on so many issues. It's very obvious to me why people hate China. Because they're told to hate China. And they trust who they're told.